What's going on, everybody? It's CryptoVision here, back again with another crypto market deep dive. Today's video, we're going to be checking out XRP, the one, the only. Some say king of the alts, some say has its own army. So we're going to be taking a look at the monthly, the weekly, the daily, going out in the 4-hour chart. So we're going to take a look at some larger time frames, getting into the smaller time frames. As always, if you like today's video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, maybe some other types of cryptos, traditional stocks, precious metals, go ahead and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we got XRP here on the log chart, and I use the log chart, for long-term projections, ideas for, an asset that is expanding, okay, which XRP is. XLM saying it's very similar. It hasn't done what XRP has done yet, and so right now XRP is in it's in a state where a lot of people think it's going to come down. If we do like a trend line from here to there, like people think it'll come back down to that 90-cent area down through here. I have those levels marked out, and we'll walk through the reasoning and how I got to those levels. Okay, so some say we're coming back down to the sub $1 range, and then we gotta go up and get another level. Others are saying 60 cents or 70 cents to back test this level through here. So there's a lot of room for the downside in people's minds right now. Okay, if we're looking at the overall move, okay, so you have this 1, 2, you have this 3, you have this 4, you have this 5. Look how beautiful and simple this third wave is, right? This is just so simple, and look what you're dealing with right now. I mean, brutality at its finest. Once everyone starts investing in an asset class, they make it extremely brutal. Okay, so you got a 5-wave move right through here. Okay, and that realistically could be your first wave. Okay, so if this is the first wave of everything, then you'd come down for a flat pattern. Okay, because you didn't take the lows. Okay, you didn't take lows. You left lows right here. Okay, right at 11 cents. Okay, so you didn't take any lows. Okay, so you got a 3-wave move down. Okay, really trapping bears for a second wave. Okay, and what do we have now? We have a 1, 2. Okay, of the third wave. So a lot of people have said, hey, this isn't reminiscent of what a third wave could actually be, the third wave of the third wave. I do agree, but diminishing returns, we have to take that into account. So if we have a 1, 2 through here, A, B, C, possibly for a third wave, possibly, right? We're going to walk through some scenarios. Then you'd have to come down for an actual fourth wave, right? An actual fourth wave, probably a really long, drawn-out fourth wave. Maybe it takes, 2 years or something like that, 3 years, like a really long, drawn-out. You're trying to come down through here, back testing levels, and then you go get some higher levels, okay? And that's where those higher levels that people have talked about come into play. So, right, so if we're looking at maybe an extension of where it's gone so far, right to that 1618, okay? So theoretically, okay, this third wave has reached its targets, right? 1618, that's the minimum that you'd want to reach, okay? We have targets from $8 to $5. Okay, we have some, this 1618 is right around this 263. We have 275 for a key level. We have some key levels that are matching up with some fibs, right? So that's good. That's what you want to see. We have some retracement levels, some previous areas of resistance right through here, 97 to about $1.10. We've already hit $1.11. So this is an idea where 95 to 97 cents is a possibility. This is 92 cents. So those will mark out some lows. If we get rid of some of this stuff through here, some of this jargon or some little chicken scratch that I like to deem it. So right through here, you can see that this area has proven to be an area of interest. Okay, you rejected it right through there. Okay, you came down through, you tried to hold it right through there. You rejected it. You rejected this. Okay, so that could be an area where you come back down, test those areas, 92 cents. That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't at this point in time. I did see that the Middle East conflict has come to a 2-week ceasefire. There's been some issues with Allied forces attacking Lebanon. that could, you know, erase the what we got going on right now. Since then, so the strait was closed after that because Iraq assumed that that was part of the deal. Sorry, Iran uh, assumed that that was part of the deal. So they went back through, they talked through everything. Strait is now open. The first non affiliated cargo has gone through there. So that's that update on there. It's going to be fragile. I talked about that on the live stream. It's going to be fragile. You know, people pecking order right now, figuring out, you know, how much they can, each side can get away with right now because you're in negotiations. So you're trying, if you've ever been a part of a negotiation, it's a back and forth conversation. Okay, trying to, you know, establish some kind of dominance, trying to establish a standard in which how you negotiate as well, because I'm pretty sure they're using a third party through Pakistan to negotiate. I don't know if they're doing face-to-face negotiations right now. And so we have to take that into account, and we have to take into account, you know, the fact that we don't know whether or not, you know, the Clarity Act. So we're going to pivot. We don't know when that's going to be passed, right? There's some news and speculation about, you know, trying to get senators to pass it. People in the government over there in Washington, they don't like to work. Obviously, they like to fly in, dibble dabble, get paid, go golf, drink mimosas. You get what I'm saying, right? There's not a lot of reason to work when you're already in a position where you're making money. It's just, I don't really see people, I don't see them doing that. And there, a lot of these, you know, officials, right, representatives are backed by banks. Banks don't like crypto. They don't like the yields from stable coins. They don't like crypto right now. So either it's just a tug of war right now. So we got a lot of stuff going on in the background that market makers are hiding and releasing in bits and pieces. And then they obviously match the news with the price. Okay, so if you're watching the news, you're going to be late to the price. Okay, if you're watching the price, you can kind of expect some kind of news coming out. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Okay, so we had you know, XRP hit a certain level, 1618, which is what you'd want to hit. Okay, so now where are we at for our retracement? Okay, from a low to a high. Where are we at for retracement? We hit the one. I mean, I could take this low all the way down through here as well, like I did. 0.5 is right around $1.05. The 1618, sorry, the 618 is right at 78 cents. Okay, so there's some lower levels through here. You're barely right under the 382. Okay, of this extension. Okay, so there's some lower prices to the downside, $1 all the way to that 92 to 78 cents range. 78 cents would be pretty brutal. That'd be like a black swan event. Okay. And so what we have here is a beautiful three-wave move. Can we see what the C wave has done comparative to the A wave? We can take the A wave from right here. That started the correction. You're already at the 1272. The 1618 is right there at $1.09. Okay, $1.09. So you almost reached the 1618. The C wave has almost reached the 1618 of the A wave extension. The deepest you'd see is, I mean, 2618 at 57 cents. That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. So anything through here, really, I like to see the 2 and the 1618. So the correction is complete, right? You want a complete correction, so you don't have to worry about coming back and visiting these levels. Okay. You know, this 92 cent is right at the 100 on the weekly. So that's a good idea. And we're sitting right at the 50. So you know, there's positives, there's negatives. We're below the 20. You know, we're just looking at price action so far. You've had, what, 6 months of red in a row. And so you can't get too excited with one green month. You need continuation. You really want to see this wick start to get filled. Okay, once we start to see that, you know, that 153 level, that's why we got that. That's something we need to do. Okay, a lot of people are expecting an immediate move, right? Straight up. Okay, you cannot expect that. You gotta get some kind of like 1-2. Okay, you gotta get a 1-2 setup. Okay, so we need like a 1-2. Don't take out lows, right? Don't do that. Don't take out lows. So a 1-2 setup. Okay, if we're expecting, you know, if we're coming down through here and we're looking at, you know, extensions on what has, it's a rough extension. The lows might not be in. Right, the lows might not be in. Just a rough extension. Right, we can expect the one extension, 786, 886, probably get some resistance to there. So $6 all the way up to $10. Okay, so you really could come up through here. with the idea that this is a fifth wave, that would cause a very long correction. Okay, that would cause a very long correction. If this is a 1 2 A B C for your third wave, so if this is your third wave, right, through here, right, then you could flag out, really flag out, really flag out. So it would be a lot longer than this. Okay, you'd come down, come back up, you come back down, you'd come up, you'd accumulate, you'd go through here, probably sweep some lows, back test through here. Let me just scoot over. And then you could see some of these higher targets that people are talking about, this $20 level all the way up to $43. Okay, for long term, $20 to $43. 1618, 1272. Okay, I mean, 2618, I mean, you're looking at $400. That's kind of crazy in my opinion for right now. I can't talk about $200 when the price isn't above $2. I'm just not that type of person. I'm not gonna do that because it's not. I mean, it's kind of clickbaity, but it could possibly happen, right? It could possibly happen, but I'm really looking for $6 all the way up to $10. So I got $6.33 to $9.53. If you wick up a little bit further, okay, potato. Come back and tell me how upset you are when you're investing in it at $1 and it goes up to $10. You know what I'm saying? So wouldn't be too upset, right? So that's just price action. Okay, so we're looking at price action. People can be bearish all they want. I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish on crypto. Okay, because a lot of this setup is really nice. You're back testing, like we already talked about, previous areas of resistance. Okay, when we're looking at the RSI and the Fu Manchu, you're starting to see that wave come down through here, and that's when you start. That's when you really want to start investing. Okay, once you're down through here. Okay, once you're down in through here. Down through here. Okay, you got down through here and then you rallied up. You got down through here and then you rallied up. Okay, so I've gone through Bitcoin dominance, stablecoin dominance a couple times. I usually go through it in the live stream. If you're interested in the live stream, that's what I do. I do a lot of comparative charts, macro stuff, and I gave reasons for my timing on when I think a next when a 1-2 setup can begin. Which is around May, right? Which is at the end of April, beginning of May. And I think something can happen. That's what a lot of the charts are pointing to, right? Can't always trust it. It's not a guaranteed. It's not a fact. It's just, these are my ideas. These are my levels. Remember, none of this is financial advice. So make sure that you do your own research and you have a plan, okay? We see an RSI that is starting to flatten out, and we really want to see it come up through here and do this like a nice rounded bottom. Okay, MACD, some room left to be desired. It is a delayed indicator, especially on the monthly. When you're thinking of crypto, these things can go off in a week or two, right? We've all seen it. It doesn't take a month, and then the monthly will be somewhat behind it. So I'm not too worried about the monthly on the MACD quite yet, because we come into the 3-week charts, and you see a different you see a different story, okay? A different story for the MACD. You're already cooling on bearish momentum. Okay, you did that right through here, and then you saw a nice move. Right, you saw this move through here. Okay, started to see that. Okay, so I'm not too worried about the MACD on the monthly. I'm really not. The weekly, I like to see, okay, what is it doing on the weekly? Because that feeds into the monthly, right? 3-week chart feeds into the monthly. Really waiting on a green dot down through here. We get a green dot down through here on this buy side signal. I mean, last time it was a great opportunity to buy. Great opportunity to buy. Great opportunity to buy. I mean, everywhere we see these, they're great opportunities to buy. And maybe not up through here wasn't a great opportunity, but you're not buying the tippity top. Okay. So we're waiting on a green dot for that. The RSI, like I said, it's rounding. It's very nice where you're not the price isn't trying to spike up. There's no attempts right now. There's no attempts where you're getting rejected. There's none of this so far. It's almost looking like this right here, where you're doing this. Okay. To a certain degree, it's actually it's a lot nicer, right? You can see the roundedness to it. Okay. So that's what we got on the 3-week. The weekly chart. Weekly chart. We're in the fair value zone on the weekly chart. Let me get rid of a lot of this jargon so you don't have to. So we can see a lot of it. Okay. So my Custo AutoFib. If you're interested in the Custo AutoFib, my entire setup is through Patreon. Everything that I got here You go into Patreon, you download it, and it's free. It's once you get into that, everything, all this is included. Okay, so we had that we had the bullish divergence down through here. Nothing's really played out yet. Okay, you see this green on this stochastic. We had that. Nothing's really played out yet. Really, I really drew this trend line not with any kind of bottom or top, just to see. It's almost acting like a magnet, right? So you kind of you fall below, you come right above. 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 It's almost acting just like a magnet. I want to see in which direction that it really pulls away from, because that will indicate, okay, that's the actual move. That's the actual move. It's not really, there's been a lot of fake outs, but it's really following this kind of regression line, okay? And it's doing it methodically, okay? You can really see it, right? When we come up through here, this is how I got those lower levels. Okay, I did it a while ago. Okay, so you got this 1-2 set up. Okay, got this 1-2 set up, and that's how I, got through. That's how I got a lot of these levels, right? It's not just a random level. Okay, so you have like this 1-2. Realistically, you have like a 3, you have a 4, and you're coming up for a 5th. Okay, coming up for a 5th. Realistically, because I mean this really throws a damper on a lot of things. I'm still using the Binance chart. I don't know why. You can ask me. You can ask me later. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're coming up for a 5, for a 5th wave. Honestly, this is starting to look. If we're looking at this chart, it's starting to look bearish, right? It's starting to look bearish where you're kind of just slowly chopping up. You're chopping up slowly, and that's when you see a hard reversal. Okay, that's when you see a hard reversal. It's when you are almost, you come up and you come right back down. Wake up, come right back down. Slam up, come right back down. So right here, you're kind of just grinding up. Oh, yep, came down. But this is you're slowing that momentum. That sell side pressure is definitely slowing. I mean, you can see these candles are very different than these candles. I mean, look at these. These are, I mean, if I zoom in, these are vertical candles, right? They're vertical candles. Like, look at these candles through here. So a lot of sell side pressure has already taken place. This is how I got those levels through here. So that 153 to 92 cents all the way up to $2. That's how I got those levels. They're not random levels, okay? Can't just be doing that. Can't just be throwing numbers out on the charts, okay? You are in a good fair value region. You're still not in the accumulation region, the best from my fib, right? The best time to accumulate. You're still not there yet. So XRP is still holding up strong. What we're seeing now is an extremely, it's the sell side pressure is extremely fatigued. Okay, you're going down in price, and your sell side pressure is weakening. Okay, you're going down in price, and your RSI is getting stronger. Okay, so something big. I think something big is happening. Okay, we have to really tell. We have to really wait and see how we interact with this moving average on the RSI. Okay, but just the posturing of it, where you kind of impulsed up and you're doing this rounded base on the bottom. That's what I like to see. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, last but not least, what are we at? 18 minutes. We're kind of running over time. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the 4-hour chart, but it's okay. It is A-okay. A-okay. So we had that 1, 2. We also had like this A, B, C. Come up for a 4th, and you got like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't really come down for a 5th wave yet. All right, didn't really come down for a 5th wave yet. Not yet. You got like this 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you're coming down to take out some lows, right? Maybe you're coming down to take out some lows. Okay. Oh shoot. I mean, if you really want to count it, you can count like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You can count it like that. I don't really like that. I don't really like that. So. It's kind of it's interesting. You got a 1, 2, 3 coming up for a 4 and maybe a 5. You didn't even have that 4th wave right through here though. I mean, you had somewhat of a 4th wave. You have this A, B, C for your 4th, and then you came down. So I could see that, and it's almost like a diagonal at this point, just because if this is a 5th wave, this is starting to become extremely long. Okay, it's not the worst case scenario. Okay, ending diagonal patterns are for the reversal, they're a lot more probabilistic to, reverse. Okay, so if you do come down through here, sweep the lows, okay, maybe 92 cents, then you come up, it's going to be a good probability that you're going to continue, okay, that this is complete correction. So that's the idea I have for XRP. We have levels, we have these key levels out that we've been talking about, from $5 all the way up to $10 for this next move. Not for months and years from now, for the next move. Okay, then after that, you probably got to correct, and then for that next move, you can see that $20 to $40 range. So, again, none of this is financial advice. These are just my ideas. These are my levels. If you're interested in a free Discord, it'll be linked in the description. We talk about crypto, traditional stocks, precious metals. We have memes, all that good stuff. So come by. You're bearish, you're bullish, you're neutral. We have bears in there. We have people on the sideline in there that we just talk about stuff. If you're interested in a paid Patreon membership where you're looking to maybe get my entire trading setup, where you get exclusive videos on Fridays, where you get instant chart updates, right? You don't got to wait on videos. You don't got to wait. Hey, CryptoVision, can you upload this? Can you check this out? Yeah, I got you. Here are the key levels I'm watching. This is what I would do, and I do that for all the Patreon members. And so go ahead and look into that if you're interested. You get a full breakdown of what everything is offered before you have to pay, so there's nothing surprising about it. Okay. As always, I thank you for stopping by, and I thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.